In a small village surrounded by endless green fields and dusty roads, there lived a boy named Arjun. He wasn't like most children of his age. While others fought over toys, ran after kites, or argued about who won the game of marbles, Arjun spent his time quietly observing people. At just 12 years old, he had a habit of asking questions that left elders speechless. Why does uncle shout at the poor man who comes begging for food? Why do people respect the rich merchant, but ignore the old farmer who works all day in the sun? Why do some children go to school while others carry bricks on their heads? His mother would often pat his head lovingly and say, "Arjun, don't trouble yourself with questions. This world has always been like this." But Arjun wasn't satisfied with that answer. Something deep inside him whispered that life was more than money, power, or fame. Something greater defined what it meant to truly live. One evening, Arjun saw a hungry stray dog outside his hut. The poor creature was shivering in the cold, ribs sticking out from its skin. Without thinking twice, Arjun took his own piece of bread and placed it in front of the dog. The animal wagged its tail and licked his feet before eating. His father scolded him, "Arjun, that was your only food for the night. Why waste it on a dog?" Arjun looked at his father with calm eyes and replied, "Baba, tomorrow we may eat again." But tonight, that dog would have slept hungry. His father didn't argue further. For the first time, he noticed a rare light in his son's eyes, a light of humanity. That small act of kindness stayed with Arjun. It was the seed of a lesson that would grow with him. To be human is not about how much you own, but how much love you can share. But not everyone admired Arjun's ways. As he grew older, the villagers often mocked him. "Look at this foolish boy," they laughed. "He helps beggars instead of saving money. He spends time with the weak instead of the strong. What will he achieve in life?" Even his friends teased him. They were busy chasing new clothes, pocket money, and cricket bats, while Arjun would sit under the banyan tree listening to the stories of old men or helping widows carry water from the well. One day, a boy named Raghav mocked him openly. "You'll remain poor all your life, Arjun. The world only respects those who are successful. Humanity doesn't fill your stomach." Arjun smiled and replied softly, "Maybe you are right, Raghav. But I don't just want to fill my stomach. I want to fill my heart." His words silenced everyone for a moment, but soon they laughed again. Arjun, however, carried no bitterness. Deep inside, he believed the world would one day understand. When Arjun turned 18, he decided to move to the nearby city in search of work. Life in the city was harsh. The noise, the crowds, the endless race for money. He took a small job at a printing shop, earning just enough to rent a tiny room. One night, while returning home, Arjun saw a man lying unconscious on the road. Dozens of people walked past, some glancing but none stopping. Vehicles honked, but nobody cared. Arjun rushed to the man, lifted his head onto his lap, and shouted for help. At last, a rickshaw driver stopped, and together they took the man to a hospital. The doctors later told Arjun, "You saved his life. He had a severe attack. Another 10 minutes, and it would have been too late." Arjun didn't even know the man's name. He simply waited until the patient was safe, then quietly walked back to his room, tired but peaceful. That night he thought to himself, "If people have forgotten how to care, maybe my life's purpose is to remind them, to remind the world what it means to be human." From then on, Arjun made it his habit to stop and help whenever he saw suffering. He carried water bottles for stray animals during summer, he guided blind men across busy roads, and he gave away a part of his salary every month to buy notebooks for children who couldn't afford school. His landlord often scolded him. "Arjun, why do you waste money on strangers? You hardly have enough for yourself." But Arjun would only smile and say, "Sir, money ends when you spend it." But kindness never ends. It grows. Years passed, and Arjun's simple acts began to touch the lives of many. One day, the same man he had saved years ago visited him at the shop. He was none other than Mr. Mehta, a respected businessman. "You may not remember me," Mr. Mehta said with tears in his eyes, "but I can never forget you. You saved my life that night. Tell me, young man, how can I repay you?" Arjun folded his hands and replied, "Sir, if you truly want to repay me, then help someone else in need. That is the only repayment I ask." Mr. Mehta was deeply moved. For the first time in his life, he realized that wealth and power meant nothing if compassion was absent. He began supporting poor families, funding schools, and helping orphans. And all of this started because of one simple act by Arjun. News spread in the city about this young man who lived for others. People began calling him the boy with the golden heart. Some admired him, while others mocked him still. But Arjun's path never wavered. One winter evening, Arjun came across an old woman sitting near a railway station, shivering with cold. Passengers walked past without even noticing her. Arjun removed his own sweater and wrapped it around her. The woman held his hand and whispered, "Son, you are not just human by birth. You are human by heart." Those words pierced deep into Arjun's soul. He realized that humanity is not a title given by society, but a choice made every single day. Years turned into decades. Arjun grew older, but his spirit remained the same. Wherever he went, he left behind traces of kindness. He was not rich, he was not famous, but he was something far greater. He was human. One day, a reporter interviewed him. "Arjun, what is the secret of your happiness? You live in a small house, earn little money, yet your eyes shine with peace." Arjun answered with a gentle smile, "The secret is simple. I don't measure my life by what I earn, but by what I give. To be human is not about walking on two legs. It is about walking into someone's pain and holding their hand. That is true success." The interview went viral. Thousands of people across the country were touched by his words. Schools began teaching his story, social groups honored him, and young people started movements inspired by his life. But Arjun never sought fame. He continued to live simply, helping silently, never expecting anything in return. His only dream was that one day the world would learn the same lesson: be a human.